Hello all. So good morning to one and all. So we are in the class of CMA final. Okay. CMA final group 4. In group 4 our subject name is corporate financial reporting. In shortcut we would like to call it as a CFR. Here afterwards I will refer it as a CFR, corporate financial reporting. Paper number paper number 18, corporate financial reporting subject. The subject is in group 4 of CMA final level stream. So by the way, my name is ARUN Kumar. I am a mentor for corporate financial reporting of group 4 at CMA final level stream. Not only mentor, I am the teacher, I am the professor. Okay. So with regard to the corporate financial reporting subject, so everything is me to you guys. Okay. Whatever doubts you have, you can feel free to ask me. Then in group 4 or with respect to group 3 also, CFR plays a crucial role. Why? Because for the scoring purpose, for the aggregate purpose, group 4 is better than the group 3. So most of the students try to attempt for the both groups and they will try to get more marks in group 4, which will be used for getting the aggregate in the both the groups. Okay. For getting more marks in group 4, so this is a practical subject, right? So as a practical subject, there is a high chances of getting more marks if you attend the exam perfectly. Okay, there is no chance of, generally in theory subject, it depends on the mentality of the valuationer. Okay, but with respect to the CFR, if you got this answer, if you presented the format well, so definitely you will get the better marks. There is no chance of cutting down the marks. In theory, if you write for 10, for example, if you write down the 10 lines, there is no need to allocate the full marks for you. Okay, if he corrects down the paper and depends on his mood, if he allocated the 5 marks, that's all. There is no point of increasing marks even though you applied for the revaluation. But coming to CFR, there is a high chances of getting more marks if you presented perfectly. Okay. So there is no factor of luck in corporate financial reporting. So be focused on it. It will decide the group 4 and group 4 decide your entire group 3 and group 4. CMA final and CMA final will decide our future. Malli why are you coming again to CFR? So CMA final will decide your future. Okay. So keep it in that mind. So attend for all the classes and ask the queries. Whenever you have the queries, just ask it immediately. But please don't interrupt in between the classes. Okay. Then let's get into the chapter index. So we have divided the entire CFR subject into 19 chapters. So generally in your board book, they have classified our entire CFR subject into A, B, C, D and E. Okay. So in A, it covers the entire Ind AS. Okay. Indian accounting standards. Okay, I will discuss what is the Indian accounting standards. And again, valuation of shares and goodwill. Valuation of shares and goodwill. Okay. This chapter is very important, not only in the corporate financial reporting subject, in the SFM and as well as SPMBV. Okay. In few topics is also coming from cost audit also. Okay. Valuation of shares and goodwill is very important chapter, not only with respect to the CFR, but with other chapters also. So in SPMB, if you able to learn this chapter in CFR itself, there is no need to learn in SPMBB or vice versa. Okay, so one shot, two birds. Next one, accounting of accounting of financial instruments. The next chapter is accounting of financial instruments. The next one is NBFC. NBFC means masking meaning not. Okay. NBFC is non-banking financial corporation. So let's see what does it mean. So there is a specific definition given in the act. That and all we will discuss at the while we have started the chapter. And then Ind AS 103, accounting for business combination and restructuring. Ind AS 103, repeat with me. Accounting for business combinations and restructuring. So as per the understanding of the CMA inter-syllabus, we have learned the amalgamation. Do you remember? Amalgamation concept is there. So same concept, similar concept is here. Okay, few concepts have not been detailedly discussed by the AS14 actually, but here there is a brief description of the remaining aspects also. Then restructuring means, say, internal reconstruction. Sorry. So there is a chapter called internal reconstruction, isn't it? Is there any chapter called internal reconstruction in your CMA inter-syllabus? No? Okay, CA inter. Okay then. How many of you from CA inter? Okay. Okay, cool. Remaining people, don't worry. She's looking like so cool. No need to worry. So there is a chapter called internal reconstruction in CA inter. So we will discuss it here also. Okay. Then consolidated financial statements and separate financial statements. So there is one chapter called consolidated financial statements. Here afterwards I will refer it as a CFS. Then separate financial statements I will refer it as SFS. So these are the shortcuts used to describe consolidated financial statements and separately financial statements. So then recent developments in financial reporting and government accounting in India. So in our CMA final CFR curriculum, so most of the chapters are practical aspects only. So but apart from these two chapters, so these two chapters are theory chapters, and remaining everything is a practical oriented. Then, so in our board book, all Indian accounting standard chapters are classified under A. Then valuation of shares and goodwill, accounting of financial instruments, and NBFC. So these three chapters are one set. So I am just writing down the syllabus as per the ICMA module. Then Ind AS 103 and consolidated financial statements. And then last one is recent developments in financial reporting and government accounting in India. So they have divided the entire curriculum into A, B, C, D and E. Okay. So from this I have classified the entire chapters. I have given the serial number for each and every chapter. So all Indias has been covered here. After that, valuation of shares and goodwill, accounting of financial instruments and NBFC. Then Ind AS 103 one part, and consolidated financial statements is one part, and recent developments in financial reporting and government accounting in India. These are the index for our CMA final curriculum. Then let's see the weightage and important chapters. Let's have some small synopsis regarding with the weightage of the chapters. So valuation of shares and goodwill, definitely there will be a 7-mark question. Okay. and that too it will be useful in other subjects also. There is no chance of leaving it as a choice. So there is a compulsory question of 7 marks, and as well as maybe in SPMBV also there is a high chances of asking for it as 7, or depends on, I don't know exactly. Okay, but if you read it here itself, it will be useful. Then accounting for financial instruments, from here also they are asking for 7 marks. And NBFC, so every time they may not be asking for this chapter actually. So if they asked only, there are few questions regarding with the norms. Norms means provisions, percentage of provision on standard assets. Did you remember? Regarding with the banks. So calculation of norms provision. So only that question only is going to be asked with regard to the practical aspect. So maybe there is a chance of 2 mark MCQs. That's all. And last attempt there have been asked for 7 marks. So there is no chance of asking for this attempt. Okay, the chances are very remote. So this is 2 marks only this time. And India's 103. This is very important chapter. 114 mark question. Okay, then 1 4 mark question. There is a chance of coming for 2 MCQs. So total how many marks? 22 marks. From the India's 103, there is a high chances of coming for 22 marks. Every time there is one 14 mark question and one 4 mark question in the last question. Okay, I will tell you the exam pattern also. Then consolidated financial statements, 114 mark question. Then recent developments in financial reporting, 1 7 mark question, practical aspect. Okay, I told you right. So these 2 chapters are theory chapters. In this recent developments in financial reporting, it's a combination of theory and practical aspect. Okay, so from theory there is 7 mark questions. For the practical, 1 7 mark question. So for the practical, there are only 3 concepts. Okay, and that too every time the question is repeating, like question is asking in the simultaneous way. If the question is asked from the EVA from this time, next time they are asking from the value added statement. So last time already the question is asked about the value added statement. Okay, and this time there is a high chances of asking for economic value added concept. So economic value added concept, there is a concept in SFM also. Got it? So if you write both groups, there is some edge always. So try to attempt the both groups. Got it? So if you if you are going to write the both groups, there is a concept called economic value added in brief in SFM subject. So there is no need to revise it again in recent developments in financial reporting. Got it? So always there is some edge. So try to use that edge. Then government accounting in India. It's a completely theory chapter. So there is a chances of asking for 10 marks. 2 5 mark questions are there. So every time this pattern is repeating every time. Okay, government accounting in India 10 marks. Then recent developments in financial reporting 14 marks. Of course, with respect to the theory, there is a little bit more topics are there. So there are some lengthy topics and we need to cover more with respect to the theory of recent developments in financial reporting. But coming to government accounting in India, there are only few theory topics. In that few theory topics, they are asking for about 10 marks. So this is the focused area, because with the investment of flow time, you can get the more marks. So these are the index. And coming to section A, Indian accounting standards, the important Indias are India 16, property, plant and equipment. So in your CMA inter there is called accounting standards, right? So accounting standard 10. Similar concepts only. Okay, the basic theme is the same. Then the important chapter is India's 38, intangible assets. Then again India's 36, impairment of assets. These 3 chapters are one set. you cannot read it separately, and you cannot solve the problem by looking at the Index 16 only. So if you want to solve the problem from Index 16, you should have the knowledge with respect to the impairment of assets also. Okay, and as well as for intangible assets also, always if there is a question from intangible assets also, always they try to add the element of impairment assets. Okay, so if you wanted to attend for the second question, most of the times from these three chapters the question is in the given in the second question of your exam paper. Okay, so first question is all MCQs. I will discuss the paper pattern also. So these three chapters are one set. So we will start our discussion with these three chapters only. Okay. And apart from this, for this attempt especially, India's 10 is also very important. Share based payments. ESOPs are there, right? Employee stock option plan. So same concept. So share based payments. Then next important topic is Ind AS 115 revenue recognition. What is AS 9? What is AS 7? So Ind AS 115 is the combination of AS 9 and AS 7. So the construction revenue aspects and normal revenue from normal operations, both the aspects are covered here in it, Ind AS 115. Okay. Then the important topic is Ind AS 116 leases. And the next important topic is Ind AS 12 income taxes. So there is no chance of taking these chapters as a choice. Okay, all these chapters are interconnected, and that too, this Ind AS 12 is there, right? Income taxes. There is there is no possibility all the time. There is a question on Ind AS 12 income taxes, but one thing is there is a connection between Ind AS 103 and Ind AS 12. Okay. So one element is there in Ind AS 103. If you want to draft the balance sheet, you need to do the adjustment, right? For doing one of the adjustment, you should have the knowledge of Ind AS 12 income taxes. So if you want able to solve the entire problem of Ind AS 103, you should have the knowledge of Ind AS 12. If you are lucky enough, there may be question on Ind AS 12 for 7 marks also. So there is a dual benefit with respect to the income taxes. So in that aspect, this chapter is also very important. So remaining chapters are there. So Ind AS 12, always there is MCQ. There is not much possibility of asking about the 7 mark question. And remaining Ind AS 21, the effect of changes in foreign exchange rates. There is a accounting standard called AS 11. Okay. Then Ind AS 23, borrowing cost. Whatever the borrowing cost you have already read in your lower level of CMA. So maximum that concept only. So have you heard about, so okay, yes, 16. So have you heard about substantial assets? With respect to the borrowing cost, we always used to listen the words substantial period of time and qualifying assets. So the same definitions and the same meanings are attached to it, but the level of computations are little bit different compared with the AS 16. But remaining the basic principles is the stick to the same. Then what are the remaining chapters? Operating segments and fair value measurements. These are very small chapters. Within one day we can revise it, the entire chapters along with the questions. Okay. So are you getting sleep, ma'am? So do you feel difficulty in any of these chapters, like by looking at it? Sir, how I feel difficulty by looking at these chapters, sir? After we are getting into the subject, then only we feel whether difficulty or whether it easy, then only. So normally by looking at the marks, weightage of the marks and length of the chapters. So Ind AS 103 is a very vast portion, and there are a lot of questions and concepts also. While we are doing, there is a chances of doing some calculation mistakes also. So And consolidated financial statements also, there is a 14 mark question. Obviously this is also a lengthy question. But coming to recent developments in financial reporting and government accounting in India, these are my two favorite chapters always, because the amount of time invested in these chapters is very less, but the return we are getting on these chapters is very high. Okay, compare with this proportion. Here also NBFC, sorry, India's 103 and consolidated financial statements also we are getting more marks. But the thing is, we need to invest more time. Okay. And in our last attempt, so generally, while I am giving the guest paper, I have discussed about NBFC and I am giving the chapters in order. So before the exam, have given the chapters orders. So in which order you are going to start your preparation after completion of your before exam to the CFR. So in that order, I have given NBFC as the first choice. So for your first and topmost priority is the NBFC, because so last 4 attempts they haven't asked about the NBFC question with respect to the 7 marks. So there is high chances of asking question from the NBFC. So how much time do you need to invest on NBFC to solve that problem? Literally it is almost 5 minutes, that's all. With that 5 minutes we can able to read the percentages. So there is a standard asset, there is some substandard asset, and there is some doubtful assets also. On standard asset 0.40, there is some percentages. We need to remember just 3 percentages. For remembering that 3 percentages, it will not take more than 5 minutes, right? By remembering those 3 percentages, we can get how many marks? 7 marks. That too, you haven't opened the books with respect to the NBFC also, you can able to score that 7 marks. Okay, so normally why I am quoting this example is our approach is towards like this only. So with minimum efforts, where we are trying to get good marks. Okay, until your completion of exams, we are there for you. Okay, so we will guide you. So first we will start we will try to complete the each and every chapter. Okay, not try. We are going to complete each and every aspect of the problems. And after that, I will brief you what are the important areas you should focus on it. Okay. So what are the resources we are going to provide in your classroom? Concept book. Okay. Workbook. Handwritten notes also. Whatever we are writing in the class or whatever I already wrote down in the class. So I am trying to provide those notes also. So it will be useful. And then one MCQ booklet. So but these booklet will get you at the end of your lectures. Okay, not only at the end of the day, after the completion of your portion you will try to available it. Okay, so concept book, workbook, handwritten notes, MCQ booklet, these are the resources we are going to provide for you. And then what is the duration? I will try to complete it within 120 hours. Okay, so this is a practical subject, right? We need to practice in the classroom itself. Few problems we are going to solve it in classroom itself, and few problems I will write it down before itself and I will present it to you for the recording. Okay, and few aspects I will share it in the group, you can write it down. Okay, I will discuss in the classroom itself. So each and every problem I will discuss with you in classroom, and apart from that few problems we are going to solve it in classroom only. Okay, then this is the duration. And next thing, what is the approach, how we are going to conduct the classes? Like our classes is most of I will try to put it in the morning session, so then at that time only your energies are very high. So at later point of time, depend on the situation, It's not about all the time CFR class is at morning time only. So depends on the situation. We will, there is a change in the timings of the classes. Okay. And apart from that, so whatever the concept already we have discussed in the previous class, so I will try to revise it in the current class, okay, within 10 to 15 minutes. Then you can revise the previous day concept, and sometimes few of us might be, there is a chance of missing the classes, right? So at that time also, by revising or by revising in these 10 to 15 minutes, it will be useful them for two, okay. So by taking up this advantage, please don't taking too much leaves, okay. It will be useful for revision only, okay. You cannot revise the entire concept within that 10 to 15 minutes. Then, hi. Exam pattern. So our favorite student entered into the class. That's why everyone is cheering up. The first question is completely MCQs. Okay. I'm talking about the exam pattern of CFR. So, in first question, all MCQs. MCQs means, tell me, Ray. MCQs means multiple choice questions. Okay. Mean in foundation level, whenever we quoted the MCQs, what was that, sir? What do you mean by MCQs? So they don't know, right? So they're giving such expressions. Please don't give that expression, okay? We already write it down in our CMA inter, right? So there are all are multiple choice questions. So the exam pattern is as CMA inter pattern only with respect to the question. First question is the all MCQs 30 marks. There is 15 MCQs into 2 marks. Okay. If you choose the correct option, there is no need to deduct the marks with respect to the first question, right? So there is high chances of getting full marks in this first question only. So if you get full marks here itself, 30 marks, then remaining aspects, it will be easy to score up to 80 marks also. Okay, so the MCQs are very crucial, and that too we are going to provide the special session on the MCQs. Already we have conducted in the previous attempt people. So don't worry about this. Then so this is so first question is practical aspects, all multiple choice questions. Remaining 2 to 8 questions are completely descriptive. You need to write it down the answers for the each and every question. So how many questions are here? 7. 6 or 7? 7. Okay. So there are total 7 questions. Out of 7 questions, there is 2 choice. So 2 questions, choice. So should write 5 questions. Each question carries 14 marks. And how many marks? 70. Okay. So, but don't try to take the choices from now itself. Okay. But we don't know how many, like how the questions are going to be posed in some chapters. Let's say India's 103 is right. So there are little bit lengthy chapters. If you are trying to take the choice of that chapters, so if they ask a very easy question with respect to that chapter, what you are going to do? You are losing one chance, right? And that too, remaining chapters are there. Where those are very normal chapters. There is no too much complexity. So if you are taking those chapters, if they have asked too much complicated question from those chapters? Got it? So don't try to take the choices from now itself. Try to take the choice in exam. Okay, so pick the question, correct question. And most of the times, why they're giving choices. So as a CMAs, okay, as a future CMAs, so what is the important quality? One of the important qualities is the judgment, right? You should pick up the correct decision. There are a lot of options. You need to pick up the right thing. So to increase your judgmental capacities also, to test your judgmental capacities, they are giving choices. Okay, not for living few chapters. So okay, so by having pity on you, he's not giving choices. So he's giving choices to test your judgmental skills. So by giving all these 7 questions, so which questions I will try to get more marks and which question I will try to solve it in minimum time. So all these aspects taken into consideration. So be prepared for the each and every chapter. So don't take choice. So 7 questions, right? Most of the times, second question is coming from this first set. Second question coming from this one. India is 16, then 36 and 38. Okay. So most of the question, 7 mark question coming from this set only. So but in last attempt, 2 7 mark questions are coming from these 3 chapters. But this time I'm not expecting 2 7 marks. At least I'm expecting 1 7 marks. But other 7 marks might be coming from India 116, or it also might be also coming from again these chapters only. Okay, so this is the second question pattern actually. So then again third question, fourth question, fifth question, remaining one of the question coming from India's 103 and another question coming from consolidated financial statement. But last question number 8, so completely government accounting in India. 2 questions are coming from theory and 1 question are coming from India's 103 on 4 mark question, and remaining question will come from anywhere from these Indian accounting standards. So this is the paper pattern and this is our classes pattern. Okay, and whenever there is a requirement, I will try to take the extra classes also. So be available. Don't make plans on Sundays and Saturdays. Okay. So please forget there is Sundays in our life up to 6 months. Okay. After that, every day is a Sunday. Yeah, you will work up to 5 o'clock, right? After that, you can go anywhere. If you clear it in first attempt, okay, in both groups, or even though it is a multiple attempts is also okay. But if you clear the both groups in one shot, there is a high chances of jobs in PSUs, public sector units. Okay, so what is the most important aspect of CMA, or what is the aspect which I liked especially with CMA is so their campus interviews. Okay, so CMA's campus interviews, there is a lot of PSUs coming to the CMA's campus interviews, public sector undertakings. If you got job over there, that's it. You can settle in life. Especially boys, you can get lot of gifts. Okay, you can get lot of gifts. We are not supposed to use that word, so treat it as a gift. Okay, and our chairman, sir, founder. Who is the chairman or founder of BCCA? Huh? Ravi sir. CMA Rav Kumar sir. So he's a dual qualified. Like he cleared CA and as well as CMA also. But he chose the job based on the CMA qualification. But he attended for the campus interview. So in that CMA campus interview, he got job in public sector undertaking. So it's a central government related, directly get into the posting. His salary, while he, after that he resigned from that job after a few years. At the time of resigning, his salary is 2 lakhs. So he resigned at early age only. So after 3 years of service, he resigned it. So what is his salary? 2 lakh rupees. Got it. So after that, he started this organization. Normally, he started another organization. After that, he started BCCA in his own village, Mittagodam. So the main campus is BCCA Mittagodam. So he actually, the Ravi sir concepts and the theories are very different, and which is very, socially oriented. He tried to provide the services to the people. Okay, so that's why he started this organization in Mittagodam. So he tried to give the employment opportunities to his own people, and that too few students are, not us. So most of the rural students are afraid of coming to the cities for studying purpose. So especially with respect to the girls. So they are very good at academics. Okay, but their parents, the only aspect is their concern about, sir, we don't want to send my children to that much distance, and that to Hyderabad, Vijayawada. So no, sir, we can't. So that's why we have started this organization in one village. So their atmosphere, everything, so reflects the Gurukulam aspects. So long back ago, okay. So long time, how their Gurukulas are there. So teachers are there only, and students are there only. So that bonding will be there between the students and teachers. So we will try to incorporate those kind of environment. And after that, on the request of the so many students who are doing industrial training here in the cities, so we started our Hyderabad branch here. Okay, because most of the students are here, they are going for the industrial training, so it will be difficult for them to coming over again there. Every day they cannot come to Newsbed, right? They cannot do up and down. So that's why we have started with respect to the CA final and CMA final in Hyderabad, to avoid those practical difficulties which are facing by the students. Okay. So before going into the main chapters, so let's discuss some few practical and basic concepts. What is the purpose of accounting? Our subject name is corporate financial reporting, which mainly deals with the accounting. Okay. So what is the purpose of accounting? Why you are conducting exams for you? So we will conduct weekend exams for you after completion of the respective portions, and after the end of your sessions also there is some grand exams also. There is a test series in BCCA. Okay, and there is a test series with respect to MCQs also. So you can use that facility too. So it will be available on the BCCA app. And apart from that, so what is the purpose of writing all these exams? So we are conducting the exams for you at every weekend. What is the purpose of this exam? Hmm? Loud. Please increase your frequency. Am I able to hear? Performance. Your name? Huh? Satvika. Clap for her. Okay. He's ready actually. Your name? Ready to clap for. Okay. Actually, that is a good quality, right? So to appreciate the talent, you should have the talent. So clap, clap. Okay. So to know the performance, why you are conducting the exams? To know your performance. Okay. What is the main purpose of accounting? To know the performance of the company. So to know the performance of business. So instead of writing company, write it as a business, because the main purpose of accounting, it will not be useful for not only company, right? So it will be used for partnership firm as well as sole proprietary, everything. So what is the common aspect? Business. So if you want to know the performance of your business, so it will serve the purpose. Okay, the accounting serves those purpose. And then one more thing. After conducting of your exams, what we are going to do? We will give the results. At that time, you compare yourselves, right? So last exam I got these marks. This time I got these marks only. Or your name Satvika, right? So Satvika got these marks, but I'm unable to score the marks as like as Satvika. So here are their comparisons. Why you are comparing? So to know the performance, actually comparison is also important. Okay, so let's say, so I got 68 marks. Okay, I got 68 marks. Can I say how? I mean, I'm just asking how I am performed. I got 68 marks in weekend exam. Whether my performance is good or bad. Okay, you are saying okay, above average, 68 marks. But 1 minute. So rest of the class, the paper is very difficult. Rest of the class got only 42 marks. On an average, everyone got only 42 marks, but I got 68 marks. And tell me, how is my performance? Okay. So here, to know the performance, exactly here, first aspect is to know the performance. So one aspect serve, and second aspect to compare with each other. Okay, then only I know the exact performance, how he performed with the compare with the others. Okay, let's coming to COVID situation. This COVID situation, one company earns 500 crore rupees. How much? 500 crores. Normally, this company is earns 1500 crores previous year. Generally, in its previous years, this average sales turnover is 1500 crores. But this year, they earned only 500 crores. Is it performed well? No. When compared with my previous performance, it haven't performed well. But compare with other industry, there are a lot of companies in the similar industry, right? When compared with other, I'm the number one. So remaining all companies earned only 100 crores. You got it? Because of this COVID situation, I have earned less when compared with my previous year. Here, I'm not supposed to do compare with myself. I need to compare with others. Okay, to gauge my performance. So in the similar way, to know the performance of my business and to compare, or write it as for inter and intra comparisons. So these words already you have learned in GST, right? In same inter. Inter means with our company, with other company. Okay. Intra means within our performance. So compare with previous years and the current financial years. So these are the two basic aspects the accounting is solved. In second aspect, so we have taken the example of your exams, right? So tell me one. So I have given paper for you. For boys separate paper, for girls separate paper. Huh? Sorry? It's an example, man. It's not real, okay? Okay, why this partiality here? Because I like you more. Okay. Listen to me, yeah. Okay. So I have given one set of paper for you, and I have given one set of paper for you. So comparatively, okay, I'm taking normally. So girls are more intelligence in academics, right? So I have given difficult paper for them. Okay. And for you guys, I have given very easy paper. All you have scored well. Okay. all you got average scores for the boys is 70 marks, but with respect to the girls only 60 marks. Okay, boys performance 70, girls 60 marks. Can I compare the boys performance and girls performance? Why? Sorry, base is not same, so I am giving difficult paper for you, I am giving more liberal paper for you guys. So to compare with each other, there is some standardized paper, right? So there is a common paper. Standardized means common, so I use the word here afterwards, standardized. So there should be standardized comparison, mean there is standardized base to compare with each other. So if I given the same paper to all you guys, then can I compare with each and everyone, right? So can I compare with your previous performance? You can compare with the previous performance also. Okay, so here in the same way, for the purpose of accounting also, here what we are going to do, we are compare our performance with other performance. So here for comparing we need something, right? Okay, to know the performance we need to focus on some things. So what was there? To know your performance, what is my exact point? Your marks. How I getting these marks? How I am knowing these marks? By looking at your valuation of your papers, right? So in the same way, to know the performance of the business, what are the aspects we are looking into the company? Profit, usually profit. After that, assets. Okay, so to know the performance of the profit or to know your profit levels, there is statement of profit and loss account, and to know your financial position, balance sheet. And third aspect, so notes to accounts also. Next one is cash flow statement. Next thing, changes in, write it as a statement of changes in equity. Okay, all these elements we will call it as a financial statements. Okay, this is called financial statements. So every company should prepare financial statements. There is a specific rule in the Companies Act. Every company should prepare financial statements in accordance with the specific format. Okay, in accordance with specific format. Why we are insisting everyone to prepare in the same format? To compare with each other, there should be a standardized format. To compare your performance, I should give the same paper for you guys, right? So in the same way, to compare the performance of the companies, so Companies Act insisted all the companies to prepare your financial statements in the same form and manner. So for preparation of your exam paper, I need to follow some rules and regulations, right? So from this chapter, this is the weightage, and the first question should be all MCQs, and second question should be from these chapters, and eighth question should be some theory. I should add some theory. So these are the basic principles and aspects for giving your exam paper. Then what are the basic principles or basic principles and norms with respect to the preparation of the financial statements? Where it has been mentioned, it is called accounting standards. What do you call? accounting standards. What do you mean by accounting standards? These are the rules and regulations for the preparation of the financial statements. One more thing, after once your class is over, I will verify all your workbook, all your notebooks. You should write in classroom itself, okay? This is not warning, okay? This is my sincere request. Okay, please, okay, sweet warning, okay. So, please write it down in the notes itself, okay? Whatever I am trying to write it in this one, so please note it down. It will be useful, okay? Do you know what is the second advantage of writing the notes? Not getting sleep. Really, while you are writing the things, you may not get the sleep. Am I right? Name. Your name, please. Huh? Tejaswini. Okay. Hi, Tejaswini. Where are you from? Huh? Hyderabad. Okay, local. Like Chandigarh. So, at CMA inter level, you have accumulated the knowledge and you got the knowledge of accounting standards. Then why again there is called Indian accounting standards? So in our syllabus there is Indian accounting standards. One more, one thing I need to specify, accounting standards are different from Indian accounting standards. So both are different. So already there is accounting standards. In accounting standards, what is accounting standards? So the combination of the rules and regulations for the preparation of financial statements. What is the purpose of the financial statements? To know the performance and to compare the performances with each others. Then the fourth point is, what is the need of Ind AS? Already there is accounting standards. Then what is the need for Indian accounting standards? So in shortcut we would like to call it as Ind AS. So wherever it is mentioned as Ind AS only, Indian accounting standards. Indian accounting standards are different from the accounting standards. Accounting standards we have learnt at CMA inter level, but this is the CMA final level. So we are try to or explore the knowledge of Ind AS. The main purpose of Ind AS is, accounting standards are followed by which companies? Whether Indian companies or foreign companies or all the companies in the world. All the companies in the world. Accounting standards are the rules and regulations, right? Who set these rules? For example, normally our classroom purpose, I set one rule. Please write down the notes in classroom itself. Who issued this rule? As a CFR faculty or CFR mentor, I have issued this rule. And one more thing, so maybe due to of lack of your time, you are bringing some biscuit packets. Okay. So after eating it, you are throwing it in the class. So management issued one rule. Please don't throw it in the classroom itself. Throw it in the dustbin. Who issued this rule? BCCA management. In the same way, who issued accounting standards? ICAI. Okay. There is a board called ICAI. So it issues the accounting standards. Okay, then. Then why again they are asking for the Ind AS? Because these accounting standards are issued by ICAI. ICAI means Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So this is a special statutory board there in the India. Okay. So it will be applicable for which companies? The companies who are doing their business in India. Okay. Who are doing their business. I am not talking about the incorporation point. So if it is if I talking about the incorporation point, foreign companies are incorporated outside India, right? So I am talking about, so accounting standards are the rules and regulations issued for the purpose of preparation of financial statement by ICAI. Okay, the accounting standards are applicable to the each and every company who are doing business in India. Okay, then your name. Okay, okay, sorry, I forgot. Okay, Srival. I remember that name, but somehow I'm thinking something. Okay, so our Srivali initial Neelam. Okay, so our Srivali start. That's why I read it in Neelam. Okay, Srivali started on business. Which business? Do you have any thought? Do you have any thought of starting any business? Firm. Okay. So audit firm. Doc- Audit firm. Okay. So Srivali started one international firm. Okay. She wanted to do it in. So Srivali is not national. She is international. Okay. So Srivali started one company, international dealing services private limited. Okay. So she wanted to do the business in each and every corner of the world. Okay. So she went to which country? You want to expand your business? Huh? Canada. Okay, good. Actually, good choice. No, no, really. I got a call from my friend who is doing business in Canada. So he has a restaurant. So he asked me to allocate any article assistant. If you have any article assistant, allocate me for every day 2 hours. So there is some accounting work. For 2 hours, he's ready to pay 15,000 per month. Just that article student needs to invest only 2 hours. Okay. So there is a high chance of earning in Canada. And how do you know it? Yeah, it's great. So she wanted to start the business in Canada. So if he started business in Canada, she need funds. Okay. So after went to Canada, so as already told you that I have a friend in Canada, right? So she only asked me, sir, do you have any network or connections in the Canada? Then I said, my friend is there. He's doing the business. So he has more money. So we will approach him and we will try to convince him to invest in our international dealing services private limited by Srivali. Okay. So what he is going to ask? So already there is a business in India. Okay, he's in now Canada, right? What he is going to ask about our performance of the business? How you are conducting the business and what is your business performance in India? What we are going to do? We will submit our financial statements. His name is Nikhil. Okay. So we will submitted all the our financial statements to Nikhil. Financial statements prepared as per accounting standards. Nikhil, he is able to understand these financial statements? No, because he is a Canada citizen, so he is unable to understand our financial statement because the Canada rules and regulations are different. Okay, here what they are missing, so they cannot appreciate whether you are good or bad. They don't know. Okay, they are unable to understand our financial statements. To so to encourage, so here what Shivali do? she need to prepare the financial statements again, right? In the manner which is understandable by the Nikhil. So to get the investors. So this problem is faced by so many Indian companies. Did you hear about the LPG concept? Liquid, not liquid petroleum gas. What is LPG? Liquidation, privatization, globalization. Okay. LPG means liquid petroleum gas. We are not science students, so we are the art students. So try to in contact with the subject. So whatever we are reading, try to link it with our subject. Okay. So LPG means liberalization, globalization, privatization, not liquidation. Okay. So because of these concepts, so many India has opened the gate for the foreign investments. Foreign investors are try to invest in the Indian companies, but they are unable to appreciate the performance of the companies. Which company is the better performing the company? So to avoid all these concepts, they introduced the concept INDAS, Indian Accounting Standards. So generally, rest of the world following IFRS. So most of the countries following IFRS, International Financial Reporting System. Okay. So of course there is gap also, not that gap in between you and your girlfriend. This is GAAP, Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. So this word, as if all you know that. So these gap principles are used in only US. So in most of the US companies prepare these financial statements based on the gap provisions. But almost in 180 countries, all their companies have used the IFRS, International Financial Reporting System. So if you take the entire IFRS into our system, is it possible? Our constitution is there. How our constitution is drafted? So we are taking the we will not directly incorporate the entire each and every law of British law. Okay, we have taken few laws and we will make changes according to our environment. Okay. So in the same way, we are not taking the entire principles of IFRS. Just we have taken the most of the basic principles and we have made some changes. Okay. And we have introduced the INDAS. But what is the base for INDAS? IFRS. Okay. So INDAS means converged IFRS. Okay. We have not, it's not copy paste. We are not copying it. We have pasted in INDAS by giving new name. So we have taken most of the rules and regulations from the IFRS and we have made some changes in the according to our Indian economy systems. Okay. What is the purpose of INDAS now? So now the companies need to follow. So we are introducing the rules. Every company should comply with the Indian accounting standards while preparation of their financial statements. So after Nikhil is not able to understand the financial statements, right? So what Srivali came back to India and then again do in business, but in her thought process, so I need to start the business in Canada. Still there is there. So by taking into all the opinions and considerations of the great professionals like Srivali, so Indian government has introduced the Indian accounting standards. So by using this INDAS, again Srivali prepared financial statements. Okay. Now these financial statements should be appreciated by almost 180 countries. Okay. Just she came back from Canada, right? Now she entered into almost 40 countries. So with these financial statements, she entered into every country and she presented her financial statements. So which is in convergence with IFRS, right? So which is easily understandable and appreciable by the rest of the world investors. Then all the investors are investing into our International Dealing Services Private Limited. Okay. So to encourage the entrepreneurs or to encourage the business or to encourage the foreign investors, So our accounting system or the way of presentation of financial statements is changed to compare with the global financial reporting system. Okay, to compare and as well as to compete with the global financial reporting system, we have introduced Indian accounting standards. Okay, how they introduce Indian accounting standards? It's not a like our banning of 2000 notes. One day they have, they conducted a conference. From today onwards, you should follow the Indian accounting standards. From today onwards, you are not supposed to follow the accounting standards. That is not the case, right? So then, how they are introduced? So I will try to incorporate one rule in our classroom. So from tomorrow onwards, everyone should wear formals. So that is the rule I am going to introduce. Is it possible? Or otherwise I am going to introduce one uniform for all. Okay, there is no specific uniform, right, with respect to our these professional courses. So we will try to introduce one uniform to all. What can I introduce from tomorrow onwards? No, right? So you need to go to the shop and you need to purchase the clothes and you need to stitch it. Okay, there is lot of process. For this lot of process, for converting from civil code to uniform code, you need some time. Okay, and that too, with respect to the girls, it is too much difficult. Okay, so that's why what I did first phase for the boys. So I will give the from Monday onwards. Okay, sorry, today is Monday, right? From next Monday onwards, so every boy should be here in uniform code only. So that is the rule. So after 2 weeks of time, there is a rule for you too. Okay, so I introduced this uniform code in phase manner, not at a point of time. Okay, so for them it is been easy to follow the uniform code, depends on their personal reasons. Okay, but for you it will be difficult. Okay, so that's why I have given more time for you. So in the same way, Indian accounting standards also introduced in the phased manner. So phase 1, 1/4/2016. Okay. So whenever I have introduced the new rule, to which companies I need to applicable it? Whether listed companies or unlisted companies. So most of the rules and regulations are applicable for, tell me, listed companies. So in our example, you are the listed companies and you are the private limited companies. So to comply with the rules, it will be easy for the listed companies because they have the perfect procedural aspects. Okay, so phase 1, 1/4/2016. So all these discussions, these are the important discussion with exam point of view. MCQ. So only one thing you need to remember, one date, 1/4/2016. So remaining it will come automatically. Next, 1/4/2017. Third one, 1/4/2018. The fourth one, 1/4/2019. Okay. So on 1/4/2016, the Indian accounting standards are introduced in the economy system of the India. So Indian accounting standards are applicable to all the listed companies. Okay, and unlisted companies. So whenever for applying the rules and regulations, one criteria will be there. What is the criteria here? Loudly. So most of the times, and there is a criteria of turnover or profit or sales, but here the criteria is net worth. What is the criteria here? Net worth. Net worth of How much? Fix it. 100. Greater than or equal to 500 crores. So the Indian accounting standards are applicable to the listed companies and as well as unlisted companies whose net worth is greater than or equal to 500 crores. Okay. So for those companies, so they need to prepare the financial statements according to the Indian accounting standards. The second phase is again listed companies. No criteria. So all listed companies. This is phase 2. Okay. In phase 1, it will be applicable to all listed companies as well as unlisted companies. The only criteria is net worth criteria greater than or equal to 500 crores. Coming to phase 2, in phase 2, Ind AS is applicable to all listed entities irrespective of these net worth. So tell me now whether Ind AS is applicable to all the listed entities. Yes, Ind AS is applicable to all the listed entities from 1/4/2017. Then what about unlisted entities? So for unlisted companies, they are not trying to apply for the entire unlisted companies. Again, they fixed the net worth criteria. It is greater than or equal to 250 crores but less than 500 crores. What about the unlisted companies greater than 500 crores? Already it is applicable from 2016. Then no need to again discuss about the applicability of Ind AS with respect to the unlisted companies whose net worth is greater than or equal to 500 crores. Again, then what about 1/4/2018? He's giving the expression. Okay, this is called phase 3. So write down one point from phase 1 and phase 2. There is one exception. They are talking about the companies, right? But except NBFC, banks and insurance companies. Okay. So the Ind AS is applicable to all the listed companies or unlisted companies. They are mentioning about the companies only, but these are the rule, general rule. I will try to incorporate the things in the way of general rule and exception to the rule. Okay. So what is the general rule? On 1/4/2016, Ind AS is applicable to all the listed companies or unlisted companies whose net worth is greater than or equal to 500 crores except NBFCs, banks and insurance companies. There is no need to check for the net worth of these three companies because tightly Ind AS is not applicable to NBFC, banks and insurance companies from 1/4/2016. Okay. Then when it is applicable? Again, so our important discussion is NBFC. But with respect to the NBFC, Indian accounting standards are applicable from 2018, 1/4/2018. Is it applicable to all NBFCs? No. Again, the net worth criteria is 500 crores. On 1/4/2019, it's a phase 4. So again, NBFC greater than or equal to 250 crores but less than 500 crores. Phase 3 and phase 4 is with respect to which companies? Please tell me which companies? NBFCs. So, in the entire our discussion, the only MCQ purpose, for the MCQ purpose, only two things: the dates and net worth criteria. That too, not 500. Only the amount you should remember is 250 crores. Currently, what is the limit? If the company's net worth is greater than or equal to 250 crores, then that company should comply with Indian accounting standards. That is the rule. For the listed companies, there is no need to check for the net worth criteria. Current situation this is. And for the NBFCs also, what is the net worth criteria? Greater than or equal to 250 crores. Okay. And again, what about dates? So the MCQ is, the Indian accounting standards are applicable from which date? 16, 16, 17, 18, none of the above. 16, okay. Then, Indian accounting standards applicable for NBFCs from which date? Entama? Sorry. 1/4/2018. Okay. So with respect to the NBFCs, 1/4/2018, and with respect to the normal companies, 1/4/2016. Okay. So this is the phase 1 and phase 2. From this entire discussion, I am trying to remember only two concepts, two aspects. One thing, 1/4/2016. Second thing, 250 crores. That's all. Sir, remaining no need to remember. There is no point of remembering everything. So the starting date is 16. 16, 17, 18, 19. 16, 17 is for other companies and 18, 19 is for the NBFC. And then in the first phase, the limit is 500 crores. In the second phase, the limit is 250 crores. Okay. So that's why in our concept book, I just mentioned this 250 crores or more, that's all. Okay. But the dates are also equally important. Mention those dates in our concept book also. 1/4/16. So write it as 1/4/16 and 17. Okay. For companies other than NBFC. So, as per our discussion, just restrict to NBFC, of course. Exact definition is except NBFC, banking, insurance companies, but our main objective is NBFC because there is a separate dates for NBFC. For 16, 17, for the companies other than NBFC, and for 17, 18, sorry, 18, 19. Okay. For 1/4/18 and 19 for NBFC. These two aspects you should remember. And that to 250 crores. Okay. And one more thing. If they wanted to ask too much difficulty on this point, so how they are going to ask? Here, listed NBFCs are there. Which NBFCs? Listed NBFCs. This is a special point. So for listed NBFCs, yeah, I need to check net worth criteria. I need to check net worth criteria. No need to check net worth criteria. So all listed NBFCs, but unlisted NBFCs whose net worth is greater than 500 crores, it should be applicable. Again here, unlisted NBFC whose net worth is greater than or equal to 250 crores or less than 500 crores. It is stage 2. So when I compare with this normal companies, for applicability of Ind AS, I need to check listed companies net worth criteria. Do you got my point? With respect to the NBFC, there is no need to check net worth criteria for the listed companies. Okay. But with respect to other companies other than NBFC, for the listed companies also, in the first phase, I need to check net worth criteria. So this is the special point. Okay. So are you able to appreciate this difference? Then. So we are talking about Indian accounting standards, right? These are the Indian accounting standards notified by the MCA. So almost there are 42 notified Indias. Out of this, 3 were omitted for our goodness. No need to read it again. So not only our CMA final curriculum, in practical aspects also, you no need to, there is no point of using it. Then coming to, these are the Indian accounting standards. So please identify the Indian accounting standards which are in our syllabus. Already I revised it 2 times, right? Then you should be able to. Share based payments. Super. Business combinations. Next. Yeah. Financial instruments. Operating segments. Again, financial instruments. So, one more thing. 1 minute. So, here 107 is deal with the disclosure requirements of the financial statements. But here, measurement principles. So, there is one separate MCQ. Okay, Ind AS 107 is deals with the disclosure requirements of the financial instruments, and Ind AS 109 is discuss with the or deals with the measurement principles of financial instruments. Then again, Ind AS 110 consolidated financial statements. Next one. 1 minute. Ind AS 111 joint arrangements. This is also in our syllabus, but not too much. There is some definition is there only with respect to the joint control. So only just introduction, and you should know the name of the standard. That's all. Then Ind AS 112 disclosure of interest in other entities. So there are almost 4 or 5 lines with respect to the standard. Those lines should be remembered. That's all. Okay. So technically speaking, there is nothing with respect to the Ind AS 112, but there is some concept. So that's why I have included 112 also. So 1110 is the consolidated financial statements, 111 is joint arrangements, 112 is the disclosure of interest in other entities. Then what about 113? Fair value measurement is also in our syllabus. Okay, then revenue from contracts with customers. So actually, while they have introduced initially, they used the Ind AS 11 and Ind AS 18 discussed about the revenue from the contracts. So all these aspects are discussed in Ind AS 11 and Ind AS 18. After that, Ind AS 11 and 18 has been removed, and they have introduced one concept, Ind AS 115. So the currently the revenue from contracts with the customers is dealt by Ind AS 115. Then next thing, leases. Presentation of financial statements. No, there is no specific chapter in CMA final curriculum. So there is a concentration on this chapter in CA final curriculum. So there is no need to include it. Then Ind AS 2, Ind AS 7, 8. Ind AS 8 is also there in our syllabus. Then Ind AS 12. Then property, plant and equipment. This is an important chapter also. Next one. Employee benefits. Sorry. Okay. Income taxes. Oh. So income tax is also there in our syllabus. Then what about employee benefits? No. Then government grants. Then Ind AS 21. Yes. So the effect of changes in foreign exchange rates. Next one, borrowing cost. The next thing, separate financial statements. It is in our syllabus. Then Ind AS 28 is also in our syllabus. Investment in associates and joint ventures. So it is there in business combinations and as well as the consolidated financial statements also. Then next, here presentation, Ind AS 32, financial instruments presentation. So our MCQ is going to be asked in the same way. So there give in which standard is dealt by the the presentation of the financial instruments. In days 107, 109, in days 32, none of the above or all of the above. So 32, 107, 109, all of the above. What is the answer? Days 32 deals with the financial instruments presentation purpose. How financial instruments are presented in the financial statements. That presentation requirements are discussed in Ind AS 32. Then Ind AS 107 is discussed about the disclosure requirements. Ind AS 109 is the principle. So in these three concepts, this is our focus area. So all the practical aspects are going to be discussed in this financial instruments Ind AS 109. Then impairment of assets. Next thing, intangible assets. So that's all. So you are able to identify the accounting standards, Indian accounting standards, so which are applicable for our exam purpose. Okay, so these are the Ind AS which are there in our syllabus. Okay. Then for the preparation of the financial statements, we should follow Schedule 3. Schedule 3 format. Okay. So for accounting, so Schedule 3 is divided into 3 parts. Division 1, Division 2 and Division 3. So Division 1 is for AS complying financial statements. So please tell me the parts of the financial statements. No, it's not like that. In the balance sheet, what is the format? Like how many elements are there? Mainly classified into 3 types: assets, equity and liabilities. So generally assets is on one side, equity and liabilities is another side. Okay, in assets, non-current assets and current assets. In liabilities, non-current liabilities, current liabilities. So coming to AS complying financial statements, tell me the basic format. The AS complying financial statements start with liabilities or assets. So it starts with equity and liabilities, then assets. But coming to Ind AS complying financial statements, it starts with assets. Okay, then equity and liabilities. And more or less there is a similar format, but here the few aspects are discussed in brief than the AS. So now for our discussion, the relevant schedule is Schedule 3 Division 2. Okay, and Division 3 is for NBFC. Okay, so in our earlier discussion, so we have applied the Ind AS in a phased manner, right? So it will be applicable to normal companies, listed companies and NBFCs, that and all we have discussed. But in that we have classified the entire companies into normal companies and the companies other, NBFCs and companies other than NBFCs. So NBFCs, we should comply with the Division 3 schedule, and remaining companies I should comply with Division 2. But the companies who are still following the AS accounting standards, those need to prepare this financial statement as per Division 1. So simply this is for small companies, this is for large companies, this is for NBFC. Okay. So the following is the format for Division 2 Ind AS complying financial statements. What is the relevant discussion? What is the relevant schedule or relevant division for our discussion? Division 2, because I need to prepare the financial statements by complying with the Ind AS. So this is the balance sheet format as per the Ind AS. So it starts with assets, and again equity and liabilities is the second part. So the first part is assets and the second part is equity and liabilities. Remaining everything same. That to current reporting period and previous reporting period. The previously also current year, previous year, in the same way. So in in assets, there is called non-current assets and current assets. And equity and liabilities, equity, non-current liabilities and current liabilities. Okay. We will elaborate our discussion tomorrow. So we will discuss each and every concept, and I will try to derive the how these are basics of how they are preparing the financial statements, and we will try to link up we will try to fill this balance sheet. How we are trying to fill this balance sheet? So here there is called non-current assets, there is property, plant and equipment. So I should fill in the balance sheet property, plant and equipment. How it came into this balance sheet? Sorry, not notes account. From trial balance it came into here. In trial balance, how it came? Ledger. To ledger? Journal. So for passing of journal entries, I should use the word property, plant and equipment. For some transaction, okay, so I should use the word property, plant and equipment. All those basic concepts and the basic derivations we will discuss in tomorrow class. Okay, take break and enjoy your day.